This movie completely drops the found footage format. It's crazy that this movie is supposed to take place not too long after Rec 1 when that movie came out almost a decade ago. Because they just took so long to get back to the plot with Angela. It's really weird. The first movie was 2007. This movie's 2014, and it's supposed to take place not that long after. Like, don't get me wrong, the actor for Angela doesn't look that old, but she does look older. She does not look as young as she did in 2007. Obviously, aging happens, and I'm not judging people for aging. It's just very weird that it took them this long to make the movie. And it's also very weird they made her like the villain in Rec 2 just to have her not be the villain in this movie. Like, they set her up to be the villain, and then they're like, plot twist, she's not the villain anymore. Just kind of stupid, in my opinion. Not to mention, like, the creepy guy in the movie who watches her change and is really obsessed with her because he watches her on TV because obviously, she's a news reporter. He's one of the only two people that survive in this movie. They also talk about Rec 3 and say that the only survivor was this old woman that we had never met, when there is at least one survivor that we know of. The priest. He talked the zombies down with, like, biblical words. So, what, did he eventually stop? Or what? Um, it's just whatever. I was not a huge fan of this movie. It wasn't terrible, though. We finally get to see infected animals, which I think is pretty cool. Don't know why it took so long, because in Rec 1, we are told that basically the reason this happened was because of a dog. And then in Rec 3, the person that starts the infection at the marriage ceremony or whatever you want to call it, he's also infected by a dog. We never see any of this happen, which I'm fine with, but it's funny that this series, the infection starts with animals, but we never see the infected animals, and in this movie, we see some infected monkeys. And they even get some really cool kills with the monkeys, one being cooked, others being killed with, like, a saw. It's fucking awesome. Um, there are some plot points that, they don't go with. Like, you would think when it gets revealed that she's actually infected, they would watch the footage. Especially when one of the characters, the creepy guy, runs to the computer. I thought he was going to go check the footage and be distrustworthy of her. But he isn't. He still trusts her. Even though he watched her bite somebody. This movie, it's just not great, man. I didn't really care for it. There's some really cool kills. There's some instantly iconic shots. Like, I thought the shot with the infected guy who's was cooking, having, his headphones on and the makeup was really good. And just instantly iconic shot. Um, the one character was a bit despicable, and you love to hate him, but his fate doesn't get happened on screen. Basically, like, he gets knocked out and then the boat blows up. So obviously he died, but man, I wish we would have got to see him killed. Especially in a movie that finally isn't found footage. Like, you'd think we would get to see some really brutal kill that's not, in a janky camera. But no. Um, I didn't really care for most of the characters in this movie, if any of them. I mean, Angela, I had some attachment to since she's been in two other movies, but still, not that much going for this movie, in my opinion. I've reviewed movies that I've seen after this, before I reviewed this one because I just didn't know what I was going to talk about. There was cool kills, and that is it. Like, the plot was kind of generic. I didn't like it, which is sad to say. Um, I might watch the American remakes soon, Quarantine and Quarantine 2, but I'm not sure. That is Rec 4, I guess. Like, they're on a boat, infection happens, and stuff happens. The zombies are somewhat fast in this movie again. I don't even think there's that much stake. It's not as scary as the first two movies. Not even the third movie, and that movie I thought took a lot of liberty with the zombies. Like, they made them really slow in that movie. But there still feel like there was more stakes at time in that movie than there was here. And like I said, I didn't care for most of the characters. One character, this black guy, is able to fight off and kill a zombie. And then we just never see him again until later when he's infected. So I guess he got infected at some point. I was hoping for him to return at some point, but he just gets infected off screen. I I didn't like this movie.